ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Hello everyone, welcome back. Happy Thursday. It has been a while. First, I went missing for Curious Events Week, and then we celebrated Halloween, and finally here we are, ready to celebrate Origami Week. A lot of you know what origami is. You know that it starts with a square of paper and it ends up with something like this, some kind of little animal or toy that you can make. But I hope you guys take a chance to look at your activity packets this week because they really dive into the meaning and the history of origami. Origami is an ancient Japanese art that's been practiced for at least 400 years. And it really is very meaningful to a lot of people. So definitely check out your activity packets to find out why. Now, before we move on, I think we have something new on our whiteboard. It says, did you know that in Japanese, ori means folding and kami means paper? So origami literally means folding paper. That's pretty wild, huh? Language is neat like that. In English, something similar would be like the word notebook. It's two separate words put together. That's called a compound word, and the world is full of them. Can you think of any compound words? All right, without further ado, let's get to our activity. So today what we're going to be doing is making a game out of origami. We're going to start by making an origami frog, and then we'll make a couple lily pads, and the game is you score points by jumping onto different lily pads with your paper frog. So let me show you how to get your frog started. All right, so what you want to do is start out with one square of paper, and you're going to fold it in half this way and in half this way. There you go. Now you can see I've folded it. Here's a quick hint about origami. When you fold something, you want to make sure that your corners and your edges are perfectly lined up. So if I were to fold this in half and it were to look something more like this, that wouldn't work. I want it to be perfect, all right? And then the other thing is a lot of times you want to crease your paper. So even after you folded it, you want to go over your fold again and push it down really hard with your nail. That's a good crease. Okay, so the next step, now that I've folded it here, is to fold both of my corners down. So I'll show you how that looks, all right? Okay, so there's one corner folded. Sorry about that. And now you're going to take your other corner and fold it down to do the same thing. And I'll show you when that's done. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to open this again, and you can see my X now. I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'll do the same thing to this side. And there it is. Now we want to twist our paper back around so that the open side is on the left. All right, so now my open side is on my left, and the fold is on the right. Okay, so now what we want to do is bring this top down, but in a fancy way. So I'll show you what I mean. What I'm going to end up doing is folding it so that this is in the corner, is in the middle, just like this. And then I'll do the same thing over here so that this folds down like this into a triangle. And there we go. Here you can see I have my triangle on the top, and you can see what I meant by I took the two middles and I folded them to the bottom in order to make my triangle. Now I'm going to do the same thing to this side. Just like this. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take these corners and fold them up to meet the other corner. And remember, when I say meet, I don't mean like this. I mean we need to make our corners really line up, just like that. All right, so I'll be back when all four of my corners are folded like that. There we go. So you can see I took all of my corners and folded them up to meet my other corners. So now what I'm going to do is start making my little legs And to do that, I'll be folding my corners back down again like this. But I want this edge right here, this straight edge right here, to meet this straight edge right here. So that's going to take some concentration. So this is going to be my first little frog foot, and you can see how I took this edge and made it meet this edge, just like that. I'm going to do that with all 4 of these. And there's 4 little frog feet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my frog, flip it upside down. I'm going to fold this piece up, just like this. And press it down really nice and hard. Then I'll take this side and fold it into the middle, like this. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. So again, you take your bottom, fold it up to make a small triangle, and take one side, fold it to the middle to make a big triangle, and then you do the same thing over here. You can see our little creature is starting to look more and more like a frog. So just to refresh, I just started out like this, made a small triangle, folded in both of my sides to the middle, and there we go. So now all that's left is to make the spring piece. And to do that, what we're going to do is take your frog, here's a normal frog, and you're going to fold it backwards and forwards, just like this. So you can see it's got a bit of a zigzag. It goes backwards and then forwards. So that's what I'll be doing with this frog right here. Alright, so now my little orange frog has that same zigzag, and when you push back on that zigzag, it'll jump just like that. Alright, so now to get to the game. What you need is 3 green pieces of paper. You can cut them into circles to make them more believable lily pads. That is fine. But you're going to want to label them 1, 2, and 3. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to space them out. You can decide how much you want to space them out. I don't space them out too far because my frogs aren't the best jumpers. But there we go. And now you and a friend, you and a brother or sister or parent can line up your frogs, and then you can see who can get the most points. So for my rules of the game, I predict how many points I'm going to get. So if I say I predict I'm going to get 1 point, I try to jump to it. Oh no, it's not jumping. Come on, frog. You can do it. I believe in you. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh! And it landed. It barely is touching the 1, so I get the 1 point. But let's say that my frog landed over here. In that case, I would actually lose 1 point. Now, what if I said I'm going to predict that my frog is going to land on the 2? It did not land on the 2. If it didn't land on the 2, I'm going to lose 2 points because that was what I predicted. If, of course, it landed on the 2, I would get 2 points. Alright? So that's how you play. I think that the most fun way is to play whoever gets 10 points first wins. But it is up to you. You can really do whatever you want. Enjoy, have fun. I hope you really like playing this game. Happy Origami Week. I'll be seeing you tomorrow with a door-to-door activity. Bye, guys.